Hello and welcome to the Unstoppable Indians. Every week we take a journey into the life of an outstanding Indian, a person whose talent, acumen or moral example is transforming India. The best, the finest from every field join me, Manvi Dhillon, on this show to share their life story, their journey to success, some of the knocks along the way, what made them get up and keep going, what makes them an unstoppable Indian. My guest today is India's undisputed retail king, Kishore Biyani. Here's why Kishore Biyani is the Raja of retail in India. For 2 decades, he has led India's retail growth. Today, the Future Group has many businesses across the consumption space, including consumer finance, retail real estate development, and retail logistics. But pure retail is Kishore Biyani's flagship business. Over 12 million square feet of retail space in 71 cities and towns, in 65 rural locations, from the big bazaar hypermarkets to the central malls, from fashion retailer Pantaloons to Galaxy in the leisure and entertainment space, Kishore Biyani straddles the entire retail chain. His challenge now is to adapt his growth strategy to the uncertain economic climate and lure the customer who is more cost conscious than ever. Mr. Biyani, it's a pleasure to have you on the Unstoppable Indians. Thank you so much for making the time. You know, we just can't ignore the times that we live in, so I'm going to start first off with that. The dreaded D word, the downturn, how's it treating you?
I think downturn is a downturn in the sense that we were into a very different environment, the excesses which got created. I believe the excesses have been corrected. If that is a downturn, then well, it's a downturn. But I think India is a story which is calibrated growth. I think we grew a little faster in the last probably 7-8 years. And now we are recalibrating ourselves to a new reality. But if you ask me whether the consumer spending have reduced, no. The aspirations of Indian have gone down, no. And whether there is a major change in the market scenario and consumers not spending or demoralized or very insecure, I would say no. So we are going through a period wherein there is some discretionary spend which is not happening the way it was happening maybe some years ago. But I think we are back to basics and we are learning and picking up the threads and doing business which is happening. And I think we are not building up expectations which we started building up earlier. So once you come into the real world and the real phase, I think everything is good.
It's not a bad place to be in, the real world. And you know, it's heartening to note what you've just said about the Indian consumer, because you really have your pulse on the Indian consumer. It's legendary how you spend a lot of time in your stores observing them. So you are saying that the Indian consumer can save the day in a sense, because many observers are betting on the Indian consumer. That's the right bet?
I think absolutely. Look at India, a billion customers. Where do you find billion customers on this part of the world? So I think India and China, if they start consuming, all the problems of the whole marketplace will get over. And I think Indians have not consumed much. We are basically a consumer of commodities and basic goods. In the last 10 years, we have started consuming value-added products and services, and that's the aspirations. We moved into the mobile phones. We bypassed the electronic typewriters, moved into the computer state of. So we are going to bypass a lot of technology events and move into consumption in a different way. And we are seeing it happening. Like we have introduced a lot of new products into the markets. We sell more than 500,000 Persian carpets every year, which would have never sold had our shops not been there. We sell more bed sheets than everyone put together. We sell more than 750,000 bed sheets. We sell around 20 lakh DVD players every year. So we are creating consumption in a way which we believe helps to grow the economy.
And you know, we can all testify to that based on our own personal experiences, how DVDs arrived in our life while our colleagues and friends in America were still on the videotapes. So we've all sort of anecdotally felt that change taking place. But let's talk about the Future Group. And you've said this is a reality check and it's good to be in this real space, in this real world, but you have moderated your expansion plans. Exactly what kind and how much of moderation are we talking about?
I think we were in a very euphoric phase. Everything was available in plenty. There was properties coming about. There was capital which was available. There was valuations which we were getting. I think everything is moderated to a certain extent. So there's no reason why we should not moderate. I think we have been growing in the last 5 to 6 years at around 55 to 60% on terms of sales, in terms of space, we were growing maybe a little higher than